Another day, another dumb. Hi, my name is Sydney, welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. And by me, and my tea company, Lions Tea Exchange. You guys know the drill, I make artisan tea. It is very good. I have added 3 new delicious limited edition flavors to the website, and these wooden gift boxes. Look at it, very pretty. Buy for yourself or for your loved ones for the holiday season. I will link everything in the description. So I don't usually double dip on topics like this, like where I post one video and then a couple days later post another about the same topic. Although, I don't know, I guess I'm now doing that twice in a row. To be fair though, and in my defense, I only really do this when something stupid has happened. And also, I know a bunch of you are actually gremlins for drama, so I guess I need to provide you the theater, or whatever, that sustains you.
Here we go.
I don't know. Anyway, so apparently, over the last day or so, I have made fans of the Acolyte, yes, all 5 of them, incredibly mad. Somehow, for some reason, they didn't take too kindly to the last video that I posted about this topic, which I actually thought was quite charitable, if I'm being honest. I didn't even call anyone a raging piece of shit. It seems that my dislike for some of the characters on the show and the show itself has gotten some people really hot and bothered under the collar for reasons I don't quite understand. And of course, the forever irony about this is that these people haven't taken the time to watch the video that they're mad at, or any of my videos for that matter, before putting together their critiques of my ideas, which honestly to me makes the entire thing that much funnier. Like, at least if you're gonna go on the internet and call me names, commit to the 38 minutes. Because I know you guys love my reenactments because they are just such a great visual aid when it comes to these issues as they unfold, I have put together yet another one for you. So this is how the rage that I've been experiencing over the last 24 hours has played out. Yeah, so there's this show that I watched that I don't really like it that much. I don't really like the actresses either. And, you know, I found that the story just wasn't all that great, and I think they really could have done a better job. And, you know, I think they really misunderstood the original point of the Star Wars story. Now, I don't normally respond to online criticism like this because, to be honest with you, getting screamed at on the internet is a bit of an occupational hazard when it comes to making YouTube content. But in this specific situation, because of the nature of the criticism and the screaming and the insults being thrown my way, I thought that it was too good not to share. I just wanted to share with you the melting down, okay? Also, this is in fact my first time coming into contact with this side of the Star Wars fandom, and I had absolutely no idea that they were this irrational and crazy. Which I feel like I should have known, given that they started a petition to try to save the show. They're rage tweeting at the official Star Wars Twitter account. And I think similarly to how people treated our friend the Little Mermaid, our friend Halle Bailey, everyone has been running interference for Amanda Stenberg. And actually, while we're on the topic, let's not forget their TikToks. So anyway, all of this started for me the other day when my friend Jay, who's known online as Drunk 3PO, who actually, while we're talking about it, made his own video about this. I will link that in the description. He is very close to 100,000 subscribers, so if you like him, consider giving him some love. Because Jay will probably love you back, unlike scammers and spammers, which is why today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Big brothers can be really great. The sibling kind when they aren't hitting you, the show kind, even the Disney movie kind. No, that was Brother Bear. That's not the point. But you know the big brother you don't want? The kind that invades your privacy online. Which is why I need to tell you about Surfshark. Surfshark VPN is this neat app and browser extension that lets you change your IP address to basically anywhere in the world. This really comes in handy if your country has any weird censorship restrictions, if you want to access another country's streaming services, or if you just like to keep your internet browsing private and secure. Not today, Mr. FBI man. Not today. I've personally always used Surfshark for accessing news and information in different countries like Australia, because you wouldn't believe how many websites I can't access from the United States. But Surfshark is also great for encrypting your data and keeping your passwords safe, especially when you're connected to public Wi-Fi services. And best of all, Surfshark lets you use your account on unlimited devices, which definitely comes in handy if you'd like to utilize Surfshark's antivirus software, which protects you from malware and other nasties. So if you too want to bypass censorship and secure yourself online, then click the link in the description or head over to surfshark.com/Sydney. And don't forget to use code Sydney to get 4 extra months added to your subscription. Anyway, Jay messaged me and he was like, "They mad at you." That's a direct quote. Very clear-cut message. Thank you, Jay. I think in his video he referred to me as like Hot Dr. Sydney or something like that, so I don't know. I gotta appreciate that. He linked me to a woman who'd written a particularly spicy tweet about me that read, "This is so gross and just pick me levels of internalized misogyny. If you're making this type of content as a white woman, I genuinely hope you wake up one day realizing that you're actively contributing to a culture that wants you to shut up and make babies. Effing bleak." What has me being a white woman got to do with anything? Oh, they're trying to make this a racism thing. Okay, I got it. Well, on that front, you should all know that I hate all races equally. Especially marathons. I don't know why people do those. I'm sorry, I haven't slept properly in a few days. Turns out this woman was also replying to another account that had posted a screenshot of my thumbnail, blocked out my name and channel, and wrote, "I mean, we just saying it out loud now." Saying what out loud? What subtext do you think there is here? Because the thing that I am saying out loud is that Disney keeps hiring insufferable activists who are masquerading as actresses who can neither act nor activist. Wanna know another thing I'm saying out loud? People don't particularly like being name-called and accused of bigotry and racism by actresses who appear in shows. Don't get me wrong, I know that they're trying to make this a racism thing, but it's like, read the room. Also, and I say this not to be like, oh, I'm just so important, everybody cares about me and knows who I am, I'm just so special and fancy and I'm very importante on the internet. But I do find it really funny that this person made the choice to block out my channel name. Like, I don't have almost 1 million subscribers, you know, like, because it clearly didn't achieve a whole lot, seeing as people found this and sent it to me anyway. This even has my face in the picture. Like, what is the point of this? Well, I guess these people aren't terribly well known for their critical thinking skills. A lot of the other feedback was about what you'd expect. I got called a pick-me a lot. I got accused of having internalized misogyny a whole lot. It's like they all downloaded the same feedback all at the same time and then went on the internet and just repeated the same thing. This person was particularly mad, writing, "These right-wing grifters don't even know shit about Star Wars and do all this for views. Just a pick-me loser bitch who wants to feed her incel followers." I really do hate to be the bearer of bad tidings here, friendo, but the incels, they're not my greatest fan. Congratulations, you have something in common. This is crazy. Like, every female character that's not eye candy are insufferable to people. Just say you hate women and go. Can't stand a pick me. Imagine putting the Jodie Turner-Smith on a thumbnail with that title. Pfft. This is how pick-me's rise to the sound of thunderous internalized misogyny. Alyssa, honey, how could the misogyny make a sound if it's internalized? I know you're trying. I can see you trying, but this insult, darling, it doesn't make any sense. It is so bad. I am willing to let you come back and try again. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Also, I will just remind everyone that Jodie Turner-Smith accepted a role to play Anne Boleyn. She participated in the sin that is race-swapping real-life people. Unforgivable. There were a lot of really fun tweets for me to read to you, but my personal favorite is, "The only thing that will kill Star Wars is people like this one, who made this video, and people who are racists and misogynists. And the main problem is that they are a big problem for Star Wars community, but are way too narcissistic to see and realize how bad they affect everything." I honestly don't know what I just read. Like, what am I looking at here? Why are there so many unnecessary pieces of punctuation? This is how I felt reading this tweet. You could do so, you want. Now, like I mentioned, I typically don't respond to people who are kicking off at me, and that's for a couple reasons, but one of the biggest ones is because there's sort of no point, and all I end up doing is just adding more fuel to the fire. But also because I have this long-standing rule that I don't punch down, for lack of a better way of describing it. Like, Like, I don't reply to smaller accounts even when they're being horrific and demonic because I'm really uncomfortable with non-creators getting dogpiled by someone's audience. And don't get me wrong, I fully believe in consequences. I'm just not so sure if I want to be the reason that someone comes into contact with those consequences. But I don't know, I guess I was able to abandon those rules yesterday because I had decided to reply to a few people. Firstly, I quote tweeted the lady who said that I was gross and a pick-me and have internalized misogyny, and that I was sowing the seeds of becoming my own breeding factory. They really do love this Handmaid's Tale imagery, don't they? I of course replied and said, I have angered the Acolyte fans with my newest video. Within a few minutes of doing so, she had me blocked. How dare you! She then continued to tweet about me, writing, she retweeted this, she being me. So I blocked her and set replies to follows only. Y'all do love to harass people, don't you? Disgusting behavior. Lady, you went out of your way to insult me. I responded in the most innocuous way humanly possible, and you're claiming that's harassment?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You started this publicly on an online forum, and I responded publicly on the same online forum. How are you the victim here? One of the things that I always notice with these kinds of people is that they can't handle pushback to their pushback. And again, I'm not on board with ganging up on every person who expresses a dumb opinion on the internet, but I still can't wrap my head around playing the victim when you're the one who instigates something and insulted somebody first. The reality here is that I made a very long video comparing and contrasting clips of George Lucas with those of the Acolyte and other cast members from other shows and films. And I tried my very best to make an argument discussing how there has been a deliberate destruction and misunderstanding of Star Wars' original vision and George Lucas's original vision. And when these people came along and decided to rub together all three of their brain cells like a genie lamp, they decided that that equates to racism, sexism, and internalized misogyny. All because I don't like a show and a few actresses that they like.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
The funny thing for me is that I have been accused of internalized misogyny and being a pick-me since genuinely I first started in media. But back then I was accused of those things by feminists. Now those accusations are coming from Star Wars e-twerps who are mad that their show got cancelled because it sucked. And the thing that just takes me out, and how I know that these people have never watched my content, is because I make a point of saying that there is a distinction between this corporate feminist psychobabble and the people who are part of that, and women who happen to work in the entertainment space who are awesome and great at their jobs and great writers and great actresses and all this type of thing. I make a point of saying that I don't want my content or my channel or anything like that to be a perceived female bashing environment, because that's not what it is and that's not what it's designed to be. I don't believe for a single second that every single woman who works in the entertainment space should be lumped in with the butt-headed ones, because there are plenty of nice, normal women who work in this environment who aren't raging leftist freakoids, or who aren't going on and on about specific ideas and concepts and whatnot that normal people aren't interested in. I have articulated this in a bunch of different videos, and I have gone out of my way to make sure that these distinctions are very clear. But that doesn't mean that awful actresses, writers, directors, whatever, are safe from criticism just because they're female. Or in Amanda's case, a they-them. Not to mention, how much bloody content have I made discussing female issues, and for how long have I been defending women? Since for a long time, that's how long. I genuinely don't think these people realize that they are part of the reason why these shows die. Like, they insist on creating the exact conditions that kill them. They are the people who insist upon representation without merit, insist upon more female-led stories, stories without those stories being remotely fleshed out. They must see themselves reflected in media, and when all of that happens and other people don't like it because it's not good, they lose their absolute minds. There's also a level of hubris that makes them think self-inserts are a good idea in the first place. Then they take it personally when nobody else likes or watches their show. I know that these fans aren't the writers and directors and actresses and whatever, but they all seem to have in common this level of vapidness and shallowness that permeates everything that they create, and then they get so mad at you and take it so personally when you don't get on board with their creation. I guess my last thought here is that, and I know other people have articulated this too, but these are the people who insist on needing inclusion and diversity in the content that they consume, but then they use that as a reason why you can't be critical of the actors and actresses in a show or film. So then we end up with a cast of non-white people who can't be criticized, even when they're being insufferable, because they're non-white. What can I say? It's very 2024. I'm not sure whether I find it more funny or more depressing that we're currently living through a time where you legitimately cannot criticize a show and its cast that you don't like, lest you be accused of racism or sexism or internalized misogyny. But I do have to say, I do admire the Acolyte and its fans for wanting to be heard, even if what they have to say doesn't make any sense. Ultimately, as I have said in so many videos previously, if Disney is so determined to keep churning out ideas and concepts and films and shows that don't resonate with a broader audience in addition to its fan base, it's going to continue to see a decline across the board. And the reality here is that the Acolyte just simply didn't have a viewership large enough to keep it going. And that's actually more the fault of the people who are screaming at me on the internet right now, because their interest in the show, it seems, is really more or less performative. It's a thing that they can use to shout at total strangers on the internet rather than rallying others around this thing about which they apparently care so much. In the end, there's not a lot that we can do to change the toxic fandom of the Acolyte, but what we can do instead is gather around together and laugh as they furiously type away. Now, before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Surfshark using the link in the description. Use code Sydney for an extra 4 months on your subscription, which I think is a pretty cool deal. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Do you think that it's reasonable that Acolyte fans are running around shouting at anybody who doesn't like their show? Do you think that it's fair to accuse somebody of internalized misogyny because they don't happen to like women that are on the cast of a show that they didn't like? What do you think of the majority of these people and their criticism? Is it reasonable, unreasonable? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of your comments and I like hearing your feedback. If you have a topic suggestion or there's something that you would like me to look into or investigate, feel free to let me know. And as always, I will see you wonderful pretty people in the next video. Just let me be a liberal.